What if I told you that your brain is secretly controlled by forces you're not even aware of? Forces that manipulate your thoughts, emotions, and actions without you even realizing it. Sounds like science fiction, right? But what if I told you that it's actually science fact? Stay tuned to find out the 4 darkest cognitive biases that control your mind. Welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the fascinating world of psychology and explore the secrets of the human mind. Today, we are going to talk about something that will blow your mind. We'll be discussing the 4 darkest cognitive biases that control your mind, and how you can protect yourself from their influence. So, let's get started. Let's dive into our first point. The Dunning-Kruger effect. This cognitive bias states that people who are incompetent in a particular domain tend to overestimate their own abilities and performance. But here's the kicker. They're not even aware of it. They genuinely believe they're experts, even when they have no idea what they're doing. Can you think of a time when you met someone who was like this? Maybe a coworker or a friend who thought they knew it all, but really didn't. It's a pretty common phenomenon. And it's not just limited to individuals. Companies and governments can also fall victim to the Dunning-Kruger effect. So, how can you protect yourself from this bias? The key is to be aware of your own limitations and to be willing to learn from others. Don't be afraid to ask for help or advice. And always be open to feedback and criticism. Our second point is the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as frequency illusion. This is when you start noticing a pattern or a word everywhere you go, after you've recently learned about it or experienced it. For example, let's say you just bought a new car, and suddenly you start seeing the same make and model everywhere you go. It's like the universe is conspiring to remind you of your new purchase. But here's the thing. It's not the universe that's doing it. It's your brain. Your brain is wired to recognize patterns. And once you've learned something new, you start to see it everywhere. This can be a powerful tool for learning and growth. But it can also be a source of mental manipulation. For instance, advertisers often use the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon to their advantage by repeated exposure to their brand or product. So, how can you protect yourself from this bias? The key is to be aware of your own perceptions and to take a step back when you start to notice a pattern. Ask yourself, is this really a coincidence? Or is my brain just playing tricks on me? Our third point is the availability heuristic. This is when you overestimate the importance or likelihood of something because it's readily available in your mind. For example, let's say you just saw a movie about a plane crash, and now you're convinced that flying is the most dangerous mode of transportation. But the truth is, flying is still one of the safest ways to travel. Your brain is just playing tricks on you because the movie is still fresh in your mind. This bias can have serious consequences, especially when it comes to decision making. For instance, if you're afraid of flying because of a movie you saw, you might be more likely to drive instead, which is actually much more dangerous. So, how can you protect yourself from this bias? The key is to take a step back and look at the facts. Don't let your emotions or personal experiences cloud your judgment. Look at the data and make informed decisions based on evidence, not just what's available in your mind. Our final point is the fundamental attribution error. This is when you overestimate the role of personality and underestimate the impact of situational factors in shaping behavior. For example, let's say you see someone cut you off in traffic, and you think to yourself, "What a jerk. They're so rude and inconsiderate." But what if I told you that the person who cut you off was actually a lifesaver on their way to an emergency? Would you still think they're a jerk? Probably not. The point is, we tend to judge people based on their behavior, without considering the circumstances that led to that behavior. This can lead to all sorts of misunderstandings and conflicts. So, how can you protect yourself from this bias? The key is to practice empathy and try to see things from other people's perspectives. Don't jump to conclusions or make assumptions about someone's character based on a single incident. Instead, try to understand the situation and the factors that led to their behavior. And there you have it, folks, the 4 darkest cognitive biases that control your mind. By being aware of these biases and taking steps to protect yourself, you can gain more control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Remember, the key is to be aware of your own limitations, to take a step back and look at the facts, and to practice empathy and understanding. Don't let your brain be manipulated by these biases. Take back control and start making informed decisions based on evidence, not just what's available in your mind. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more mind-blowing psychology facts. See you in the next video.